Not every attack is easily defeated. Bitcoin has been through some very frightening and drawn-out battles. The most severe of these occurred when leading companies in the Bitcoin ecosystem attempted to seize control of Bitcoin. Yet even in this worst-case example, Bitcoin, the undefeatable gladiator, was victorious against their attacks. It dealt a harsh and unequivocal lesson to all involved, enemy and ally alike, that absolutely nobody can take control of Bitcoin. I mentioned in this particular article, you can't drop nuclear bombs on Bitcoin to end it. You literally have to end human civilization to end Bitcoin. And if anywhere in the world some human has some electricity and a computer, they'll keep Bitcoin running.
Just like a gladiator with an unbreakable shield, Bitcoin resists all attacks, no matter how powerful the forces that try to control it, whether that's governments, banks, hackers, or even people that disagree with what Bitcoin is or was meant to be. It stands undefeated. But this isn't a fight that Bitcoin wins alone. Tomer explains how this gladiator inspires people to take back their sovereignty, empowering individuals to break free from systems of oppression. But here's the twist. Bitcoin's battle isn't just against external foes. It's also a mirror for humanity, reflecting our internal struggle with greed, corruption, and fear. It's about freedom, not just financial freedom, but total freedom to build a better future for all people in the world. In this episode, Tomer will answer the big questions. Why is Bitcoin unlike anything the world has seen before? What makes it the ultimate weapon for defending human freedom? And what can it teach us about ourselves in this pivotal moment in history? And buckle up, because by the end of this episode, you'll not only learn why Bitcoin is standing, but why it's stronger than ever before. This is why the world's greatest gladiator is about to take center stage. But before we do that, I want to introduce our sponsors, Stampseed, the Orange Bill app, and Swan. Our partners are businesses and people that we respect, and our products that we at Bit Intelligence personally use. You're watching 21 Voices.
This book was originally not written as a book. It was written as a series of articles with a particular intent in mind. And our director today wanted me to read chapter 13, Why Bitcoin is the World's Greatest Gladiator. So that's what we'll do. Chapter 13, Why Bitcoin is the World's Greatest Gladiator. By the way, the book has really lovely pictures on every page. Bitcoin confronts endless attacks. Bitcoin has many enemies who would like to put an end to it, and they keep trying. Nations, companies, and hackers have all made attempts at this. Journalists have repeatedly declared Bitcoin dead. However, the reports of its death have been greatly exaggerated. And, in fact, Bitcoin actually gets stronger each time someone tries to kill it. It even benefits from people trying to ban it. And it also welcomes all attempts to replace it with anything allegedly better. When it comes to attacks on Bitcoin, the question is not what's going to kill Bitcoin. Rather, it is how will this make Bitcoin bigger, stronger, better, and more valuable? Bitcoin thrives when attacked. Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin with many capabilities that defend it against attacks that would damage or destroy any person, company, or country. And yes, Bitcoin can survive even a nuclear attack. In addition, Bitcoin can also develop new defenses that it previously lacked. Because it is software, it can add and adopt new capabilities, and it highly incentivizes the people who own Bitcoins to create and install such defensive capabilities. Bitcoin is the greatest gladiator the world has ever seen. Like the ancient Roman gladiators who fought publicly and to the death at the Colosseum, all of Bitcoin's battles take place out in the open. Each time Bitcoin successfully fends off a new attack in the real world, everyone stands witness to its invulnerability from that threat. As a result, all can then see for themselves and tell the tale to others that Bitcoin has yet again proven itself to be stronger than anything its attackers could come up with. Bitcoin grows from being attacked. One of the most significant ways Bitcoin actually grows is by proving itself capable of adapting to and surviving attacks. Many corporations and institutions that once attacked Bitcoin are now beginning to store their wealth in Bitcoin precisely for this reason. They had expected Bitcoin to die because they tried to kill it themselves, but they failed. These former enemies learned a valuable lesson. If you can't beat them, join them. In then adopting Bitcoin, they make it even more valuable and widespread. The same lesson is learned by those who create and invest in competitors they expect will kill Bitcoin. Most of these attempts failed miserably because they are inferior to Bitcoin. But were they to offer an actual improvement, Bitcoin could then be modified to implement that improvement. This would neutralize any temporary advantage the competitor might have. Not every attack is easily defeated. Bitcoin has been through some very frightening and drawn-out battles. The most severe of these occurred when leading companies in the Bitcoin ecosystem attempted to seize control of Bitcoin. Yet even in this worst-case example, Bitcoin, the undefeatable gladiator, was victorious against their attacks. It dealt a harsh and unequivocal lesson to all involved, enemy and ally alike, that absolutely nobody can take control of Bitcoin. Bitcoin only defends, it never attacks. Even when under attack, Bitcoin allows everyone to use it, including those who are attacking it. Bitcoin's means of dealing with attacks is to survive them without retaliation. It does not attempt to harm or kill its enemies. Every design decision in Bitcoin prioritizes only survivability. Any attacker is always welcome to halt their attack and, if they so choose, to embrace Bitcoin in peace. Nobody is ever discriminated against by Bitcoin for any past transgressions. Attack Bitcoin, please. This article is not meant to discourage anyone from attacking Bitcoin if they think they have some clever idea. Instead, it throws down the gauntlet and invites them to do battle with Bitcoin, the greatest gladiator the world has ever seen. After all, it will only make Bitcoin stronger. That's it.
Please bear with us for a quick message from our sponsors. These videos take a lot of time to make, and we've partnered with brands we trust like Stampseed and the Orange Pill app in order to get the funding we need to bring you these videos every week. Don't store your Bitcoin in cold storage without stamping your seed phrase on an indestructible titanium plate. Stampseed is fireproof, rust-proof, impact-proof, and easy to hide. It has no loose parts and will give you ultimate peace of mind that your Bitcoin is safe and sound for the long term. Click the link in the description below for 15% off your stamping kit. When I finally got Bitcoin, it hit me like a lightning bolt. It was the currency of the future, the only money that truly mattered. But there was a problem. I didn't know anyone else that thought like me. That is until I discovered the Orange Pill app. Suddenly, I was connected with a network of like-minded Bitcoin enthusiasts, right in my own city. The Orange Pill app is more than just a social network. It's a community of passionate individuals determined to change the world, one Satoshi at a time. This series is brought to you by Swan and created by Bit Intelligence. Remember to like this video and subscribe to both our channels for more videos like this every week. Thanks for watching.
I thought I would chop up my knowledge into a lot of short pieces and that I would write a lot of essays that were only 2 to 3 minutes in length to read, each one answering a different question about Bitcoin. And I had a lot of ideas about Bitcoin. I'd fought in the fork wars, which are referenced in this article. I'd studied Bitcoin for a really long time, and I'd written a couple of other pieces before I started these, but it was just for fun. It wasn't with any seriousness. And this was all during the COVID situation where many of us weren't working and we were locked down at home. And so I figured I might as well start working for Bitcoin even without waiting for somebody to hire me. And the big insight I had in one day was that, if I take care of Bitcoin, I believe Bitcoin will take care of me. And I thought that writing about Bitcoin and this particular angle would help take care of Bitcoin. And as I said before in my introduction, I wanted to offer insights in a concise way that people maybe hadn't seen before. So like this framing of Bitcoin as a gladiator, fighting for good, is is not necessarily a view that would have been widespread. It's a unique analogy, and yet I think it's a really valid one. At the time, a lot of people were, well, won't the government stop Bitcoin? Isn't China going to ban Bitcoin? Won't, can't banks just recreate Bitcoin? And if Facebook was launching their competitor to Bitcoin, I can't even remember, Libra, I think was what it was called. And so I wanted to give people the confidence and the awareness that, one, people will always be attacking Bitcoin. And two, that's actually a good thing. You don't want to be not attacked. You want to demonstrate that you can survive the attacks that everyone can give you. That's what will win the confidence of people ultimately. And it's very much, Bitcoin's a different thing than a company, because companies always have their rise and fall. They're the innovator, the disruptor, and soon enough they become the innovated against and disrupted against. But Bitcoin's a different structure. It's not one company with shareholders and a leadership. It is an ever transforming thing. And even if it forks because there's a big disagreement between it, you as the holder of Bitcoin end up owning both sides of the thing. So you own the competition if a competitor arises, and the winning side of the competition is what we call Bitcoin. Like even in the building of the blockchain, if two miners find a block simultaneously, you don't have to choose which one. Eventually, one side will be the winner, and that will be the side we call Bitcoin. And so you can't really lose in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is this incredibly well-designed system that's considered every possibility that I'm aware of for what it needs to do to survive something. And people would always say, well, surely a government can either ban it or destroy it, because governments can destroy everything. I point out in there, I don't point out how, but there's another article that says why nobody can stop Bitcoin. And I mentioned in this particular article, you can't drop nuclear bombs on Bitcoin to end it. You literally have to end human civilization to end Bitcoin. And if anywhere in the world some human has some electricity and a computer, they'll keep Bitcoin running. So I wanted the collection of these essays to start to impress upon people all these things. And when you can do these one at a time, then someone holds that lesson, right? If I wrote one essay about, why nobody can stop Bitcoin, and in that essay it's why it's a great gladiator, and in another one why it uses energy, and in another one why it's so different and it's engineering from anything else, it's kind of overwhelming. There's only so much you can hold in your head at once. But by turning these into bite-sized chunks, you can eat each one, digest each one as a little meal, and then you can work with all the ideas by yourself afterwards. As I said, I started as a nobody, as a pleb, and some of these works, I'm pretty proud of how they turned out, and I know a lot of people have given me feedback that they like them, and so my desire is to amplify them as much as possible so that more people who find them beneficial can get their hands on them, get their minds on them.
We've explored why no single entity can bring Bitcoin down. Its resilience is its greatest strength, and its design ensures that even when it's under siege, it remains undefeated. So what does this mean for the future? Bitcoin's continued survival isn't just inevitable. Every attempt to destroy it or compete with it only pushes to evolve it, making it more valuable and robust over time. If history has taught us anything, it's that Bitcoin is destined to keep fighting and winning on the global stage. Stay tuned and remember to subscribe for the latest recaps, insights, and films about all things Bitcoin. This is 21 Voices. If you want to watch another episode, try this one here.